Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a little bit of a different video for you guys. Today I'm actually going to be talking to you about all of the piercings that I currently have and all of the ones that I've had in the past and have now been retired. Now if you notice that there's an infection on my lip, don't worry, it is not a cold sore. It is merely an infection. I have swollen glands as well to prove that. But anyway guys, without further ado, let's just get on with the list of my piercings. So first of all, I'll talk about my first earrings, my first lobes. So these ones I got done in 2004, not for the first time. It was probably my third time actually having them re-pierced. The first two times that I had them done, they got infected. I was allergic to the jewelry that I had both those times. However, the 2004 time stuck. Very, very good, very perfect, very good timing. I wanted them to be done for my grade 6 graduation, and so I did. And so I had pierced ears for my grade 6 graduation in 2004, and that's all there is to that one. Unfortunately though, those piercings were done with a gun. I know, it was a very different time back then, it's very controversial. It is what it is. It's happened, it's in the past, let's move on. So the next piercings that I got were my second lobes in each ear. So you can see I have, oopsie, them ones. So my seconds, got those done less than a year after I had the first ones redone. And unfortunately, yes, they were done with a gun. I know. Tragic, let's move on. Not to mention I was 12 years old when I got my seconds done, 11 years old when I got my first done. Or maybe I was 10 and I was turning 11. Either way, I was very young, it was done, let's move on. So then the next piercing that I got after that was actually my helix up here, just the one that's right up the top there. And yes, this one was done with a gun. Unfortunately, I did suffer with a lot of hypertrophic scarring that I obviously did not know how to deal with. I did not know how to heal it. However, I don't have any issues anymore. It's all healed up. There's nothing behind my ear. It's all fine and dandy and everything's cool. So then maybe a year after that, I was very, very stupid. I went and I got 4 piercings in one day with a gun. Yes, I know, so bad. So I got just below this helix here and then just above where this one is right here. So I got those two done and then I got this one that's still in there today and then just above that. So they would have been matching on both sides, just missing that top helix up here. So those piercings, all done with the gun, they didn't last 2 days. So I took out the 2 that were in the top and then only the one that was in the bottom, which is not in there anymore, and then this one I kept in. I've obviously since retired this one up here. It is what it is. So this one here is the only one that's left standing. And yes, I did deal with a lot of hypertrophic scarring with this piercing as well. At the moment, currently, it's got a elaborate bar in there and I have not had any issues with it. I know it's been a really, really long time, but I do still get issues with this piercing sometimes. I am just honestly shocked that my cartilage did not shatter into a billion pieces when I got all of those piercings done in the one day. Not to mention, the ones that were on this side, the one that was a bit further up, he pierced it more on the flat rather than in the spot where I wanted it, I suppose you'd say. So it was a mess. It was a big fat mess. I also think that the guy that did it didn't really know what he was doing. So then I don't 100% remember when it was that I got this next piercing, but my first needle piercing was my left Monroe. So my upper lip on my left side. If the camera's a little bit flipped, it's just because this is the way that this phone is filming me, but this is my left, this is my right. So when I got my left Monroe pierced, I absolutely loved it. I had no issues healing it. It was absolutely amazing. I loved it. I honestly regret retiring it when I did. As I said before, that was my first needle piercing and I'm very happy that I got it done with a needle. Obviously the place that I got it at wouldn't have done it with a gun, luckily. But anyway, moving on. Okay, so now I have another sort of horror story. So I think it was about 2009 perhaps. I went and I got my belly piercing done. So this is what it looks like nowadays. Not the best, I know, and the jewelry is way too big for the piercing. There's honestly not enough skin left in there, but I mean, what are you gonna do? I'm too much of a sook to take it out and have it re-pierced because I just don't think that it would look very nice. So with this piercing, I was very, very skinny when I got this piercing. I weighed about 45 kilograms and I had no skin on my stomach with which to grab. So she put the clamp on, put the needle halfway through, and I was like, oh my god, that hurts. And she couldn't get it through the rest of the way. So she was shoving as hard as she could, and then it popped through. And I tell you what, most painful piercing to this day. Although I would get it done again if there was a guarantee that it would look good. So then after that, I was with a boy at the time that I got this piercing done, and he decided that it would be a really funny idea to lick my fresh piercing 2 days after I had gotten it done. Of course, I washed it straight away. However, I had an infection that lasted weeks and weeks and weeks. I was on courses of antibiotics over and over again. A few courses of them I had to go through. Got rid of the infection. It looks disgusting now, but I mean, I just don't show anybody. Not really many people know that I have my belly button pierced, or should I say my navel. Not many people know that I have my navel pierced, but I do. It's there. It exists. Yeah. Now, once my navel issues had settled down and it had pretty much healed itself, I went ahead and I got my other side of my top lip pierced. I'm not really sure if they're both... Anyway, I had angel bites. They looked really, really cute. I'll put a picture up on the screen now of how they looked. I miss them. I wish I never took them out, but it is what it is. Had no issues healing them. They looked really good. I actually used to wear these black studs in my angel bites. They looked really cool. My mom always said that they looked like blackheads though, which kind of really put me off having black jewelry in. But now look at me. Anyway, really miss my angel bites. Loved them so much. Wish I could still have them to this day, but alas, I work in hospitality. Okay, so this is going to sound really pathetic, but on my 19th birthday, I believe, I went back and I had my 3rd lobe piercings done. I assumed that because I walked into a proper piercing place that they would be doing this particular set of piercings with a needle. But no. Before I could even say anything, she had pretty much already put the earring in my ear. So I did get my 3rd lobes done. Luckily, I've had no issues healing them whatsoever. Just got labret jewelry in them currently. They're all of my leftover ones from when I had my angel bites. Sad day. But besides that, yeah, as I said before, no healing issues. They've been absolutely amazing. The only issue is that these 3 here are really nice and straight, whereas these 3 over here, the second one kind of goes down a little bit. I wish it was kind of a little bit further up, but I don't think it's worth going and having that re-pierced because I don't think the hole down here is ever going to close up. Just because I've had it for such a long time. Now I know that I could have said something, I could have asked beforehand, but the thing was I'd already paid, we were already in there. My husband, who was just my boyfriend at the time, also got his left ear pierced that day. Unfortunately, that piercing no longer exists in his ear as he was cleaning it a little bit too much and the ear completely engulfed the front end of his earring and he had to have it yanked out from the back at the doctor's, and that was not fun. And he refuses to get any piercings ever again. Fair enough, I understand. That's never happened to me, so I couldn't imagine the amount of pain that he would have been in. So I know I was young, I was naive, I really wanted the piercings done. I know, you don't have to tell me. I should have said something, but I'm a very anxious person, and back then I was a lot worse than what I am these days, and it's happened. It's in the past. All we can do is move on. The piercings are fine. I know. Now, next up on this list is actually my nostril piercing. So with this piercing, it was my 20th birthday. So right at the end of 2012, 22nd of December, 2012, my 20th birthday. I already mentioned that, but it's fine. I swore to myself black and blue I would never get a nose piercing. Nah, never, no deal. Wouldn't get it. So I don't know what possessed me to do this, but I had my sister's dad take me to the piercing place because I was spending the night with my sister. We went to the piercing place. They didn't believe that I was 20. I had to show them my ID. It was a whole thing. Because in Australia, you're actually allowed to get piercings without parental consent as soon as you turn 16 years old, as long as you have photo ID to prove your age, sort of thing. So anyway, I went in, he marked the spot, it was perfect, I laid down, was kind of freaking out. He put the needle in, started hyperventilating, he put the jewelry in, and I started hyperventilating some more. I was crying, went into a full-on panic attack. The guy was freaking out, he didn't know what to do. I felt so freaking bad for him. Like, not even my sister knew how to explain to him what was going on. However, I went into vasovagal response and I passed out. Very embarrassing. I don't even know exactly what caused it. I think it was just more to the fact that I was terrified that he was going to put it in the wrong spot or pierce it on a funny angle, something like that. Needless to say, I ended up loving the piercing. It's absolutely perfect. Had not one issue having it heal. No bumps, no nothing. Was perfect, amazing, never had an issue with it, and I still love it to this day, and I don't think I will ever take it out. So it was actually not too long after my nose piercing kind of healed up that I decided to retire my angel bites, because at the time I really wanted a job, and I honestly thought that the reason why I was not getting a job was due to the fact that even though I was wearing retainers to job interviews, these potential employers were just looking at me like I was some little kid. So I did take them out. They were kind of irritating my teeth up here regardless, so I was kind of freaked out that my enamel was going to get destroyed. I really do miss them to this day, and I know that I could have saved them if I had have just put shorter jewelry in them. However, I was young. I was stupid. I know better now. However, I work in hospitality. I have to take out my nose ring and flip up my septum ring every time I go into work. That's just how the world works. I wish it was different, but it's not. Okay, so we'll be moving back to my ears now. So I don't remember if it was 2015 or 2016. Either way, I did actually get my tragus pierced. This piercing, I don't think that it really hurt per se. I know that I definitely felt the little sting of the needle and the pressure of the jewelry going into the ear and everything. However, I think I left the swell bar, which is about the length of this one up here. So obviously imagine that length through my tragus, like horizontally. It was, I know now I should have gone back and had it changed to a smaller piece of jewelry. However, I thought that because it wasn't healing that I needed to leave the swell bar in there. And so I got hypertrophic scarring on the front and on the back, and for months and months and months, it just would not heal no matter what I was doing. And obviously sleeping on it without realizing. So after some time, I actually ended up changing it to this piece of jewelry that's in here, or the size at least, just a little horseshoe. I put that into my tragus piercing, and straight away I felt relief, and it didn't hurt so much to sleep on. I started applying tea tree oil to the front and back bumps, and then within a few months, it finally healed. So it took about a year to heal. Probably my own fault that it took that long. I know, I've been young and naive for a very long time. I'm 27 now. I know better now. Look, sometimes it just takes a little bit longer for other people to learn. But despite all of that, my piercing is really good. I can touch it and pop it and it doesn't hurt anymore. It's absolutely fine, and I've got this really cute little black internally threaded labret, whatever you want to call it, with a cute little gem on there. Anyway, I love my tragus piercing. It's really good. Highly recommend if you're not young and naive like how I was. So the next piercing that I got was actually my septum piercing. So I think it was around about September. It was either late August or early September. I got my septum pierced. I was really scared because I had heard that there's obviously a sweet spot where the needle just glides through, but if the needle goes through cartilage, it would really hurt, and obviously that means that it's pierced wrong. So I went to Off Your Tree in, I can't remember where, but they're closed down now. Now the closest one to me is Melbourne City, and I live like an hour drive away from Melbourne City. I mean, anyway. It was at Off Your Tree. So they actually let me choose this black septum ring. I was really happy that I got to choose a black ring to be pierced with. They even offered to show me how to flip it up into my nose. So obviously I took that advice because I needed to hide it for work. And so I was, again, yeah, as I was saying before, I was really scared. I had to go into the room alone. However, the lady was really, really nice. She made sure that I was nice and calm and that I knew exactly what she was doing. She talked me through the whole process. She put the funny clamps on my nose, and I had to pull away for a second because I got really anxious, and she was okay with that. She understood. Then we went again, put the needle through, no pain, just felt a tiny little pinch, like a little sting. Then she put the jewelry through, again, just a little bit of a sting, and then everything was absolutely perfect. She put it through perfectly, absolutely straight, and I am obsessed with it. I've had no issues healing it. It healed very, very quickly. No pain, absolutely no pain associated with this, not even during the healing, only when it kind of had little bits of crusties and it was moving around a little bit, and then it would kind of hurt the hole on the inside, but that doesn't happen anymore. And I don't have any issues blowing my nose. I can touch my nose like this and everything's fine. The only part of my nose that hurts is up here because I did break my nose when I was in primary school. I think around about 2003, I broke my nose as I was playing on some wet playground equipment at school, and I landed on a V-shaped pole. So if you could imagine a V-shaped pole and my nose, bang, bang, right into my nose. That happened. Had black eyes for like 2 weeks. And it was my first week at a new school, so yay me! So then after all of those piercings, after everything, I decided that my ears were looking a little bit lonely. So I went in December of 2019, so just last month, and I got 3 piercings in one day. Now I know that's a lot, but I honestly felt like my body was healthy enough to heal that many piercings at once, and the piercer didn't say that it wasn't okay. I'm sure that if I had have gotten any more, then she would have said something. But anyway, moving on. So the first one that I got was my rook in here, as I'm sure you can see that in there. It's probably a little bit crusty at the moment and I should not be touching it. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a clean later on, but that's in there. It is healing really nicely. I can sleep on it, however I try not to, obviously because I don't want to get any hypertrophic scarring. Now with that one, I felt a little bit of a pinch, a little bit of pressure, but overall, no pain. It's absolutely perfect. I loved it. And it did hurt for probably a week straight afterwards. Just even touching the edge of my ear like this, it was very, very tender. However, it feels much, much better now, and there's not as much crust as what there was in previous weeks. It's been probably about 4 weeks since I've gotten these piercings now. So in a couple of more weeks, I can actually have this one changed out to a smaller bar to finish off that healing process. So then after that, I got my faux snug piercing, or anti-helix, whatever you want to call it. You know, the one that goes like straight through this foldy part of your ear. So first of all, she put through the helix piercing, which is located just a tiny little bit lower than the one that matched this little black lobret over here. So again, just a little bit lower. And so she put that one through first, and again, just a sting and a little bit of a pinch. It did hurt more than this one. Obviously, if you're getting multiple piercings in one day, the pain level is going to go up with the amount of piercings that you're getting, depending on the person. I mean, that's for me, obviously, but not everybody's the same. Everybody has their own bodies. You know how it is. So that was kind of like, oh, yeah, feeling the heat now. And then afterwards, she did the conch. Now, let me tell you, I know that so many people say like, oh, your cartilage doesn't pop, it doesn't crunch. But I'm telling you, I heard something. Something happened when she put that needle through my conch. It really, I don't know, it didn't hurt. It was more so just that my ear was very hot. I felt everything. I felt the jewelry going in. I felt her taking away the little needle tubey thingy-mabobber. It was an ordeal. But it was all done. Everything was fine. Had a look at it. Everything was good. But I had to lay down. I had to stay laying down because I was laying down for all 3 of these piercings. I had to keep laying down. I had to just breathe. I had to keep my eyes closed. I was going into vasovagal response again. The piercer was kind of freaking out a little bit, and my friend was actually there with me that day, and she was just trying to tell the piercer like, no, she's okay. She just needs to rest for a couple of minutes. But the piercer was kind of stressing, and I could tell that she was kind of stressing, so I was just trying to keep my cool. I just wanted to breathe. I just needed to cool my body down. My body was very, very hot. If anything, she should have let me lay down on the floor and put my arms directly on the cold floor, because that would have really helped to cool my body down. But regardless, she got some paper towel, wet it, and she just dabbed it around my forehead, which was really, really nice of her. And then she got a little handheld fan and she just fanned me down until I cooled down, and that actually really, really helped. And I really appreciated that she took that extra time and effort to help me to feel better, and she made 100% sure that I was okay before I left the store. And she did offer me a lolly snake. However, snakes have gelatin in them, and I cannot eat gelatin as I am vegetarian, and I have been for probably 4 years now. I want to say 4 years, closer to, I don't know, a long time. I have not eaten any meat in a very long time, which is why I'm iron deficient. Fun times. So anyway guys, if you liked hearing my stories about how I got all of my piercings and the pain and the healing and all those kinds of things, please do let me know in the comments and down below, and don't forget to subscribe. And while you're there, why not click that little bell icon next to the subscribe button to be notified every single time that I upload a brand new video. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to click the like button and let me know in the comments down below what you'd like to see on my channel next. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, bye guys.